Okay, I think. I hope the recording is working. And yeah, let's get started. So, welcome to the CSE stuff Vim Workshop. Alright, so my name is Callum Howard. I got my degree in comp sci and digital media here at UNSW. Did I? Good.
Oh, no, it's all good.
It's all good? Okay. And then I was working up until the beginning of this year. I was working in VFX at Animal Logic, and I worked on these movies. Now I'm working at a company called Safety Culture in Surrey Hills, and pretty cool. We get food like this, so it's decent. I also love working on digital artworks, and I love using Vim, the command line, and a whole other bunch of dev tools, plenty. But today we're just focusing on Vim. And I love to use these tools to get my work done every day. Yeah. So today I'm here to share with you how learning Vim can, a command line text editor, can benefit you throughout your entire programming career. Even if you decide that you want to use VS Code, Visual Studio, some JetBrains IDE, or even Emacs. So what is Vim? Quick show of hands, who here actually knows what Vim is and has used it before? Yeah. Okay, that's good. How many of you are in first year? Okay, cool. And no, this is good, very good. So, Vim is a text editor for writing code, and it can be simple and quick, or it can be powerful and flexible.
So, is it possible to increase the size of the text by any chance?
I don't think so. Sorry.
It's good. It's just
okay. When we get to the interactive parts, the text will be bigger. Okay. VS Code is currently winning the race according to the Stack Overflow Developer Survey, but Vim is still pretty popular up there, especially amongst site reliability engineers and DevOps. Yeah. And it has a pretty long heritage, dating back to when terminals didn't actually have screens. Every time you wanted to see what was on your terminal, you had to print it out, which is pretty ridiculous, right? So yeah, this is a rough progression ahead. Pretty boring stuff, but of Vim. Started off as Ed. Went to Emacs. And there's this one called VI. You might see that around VI. It's like the earlier version of Vim, I guess, written by a different guy. Then we have Vim coming along in 1991, and some others new Vim, finally VS Code, appearing late on the field. All right. So my point is here that Vim has a long battle-tested heritage, and people still use it, so there must be something there. Also, it's ubiquitous. It's everywhere. Any platform you can think of, apart from Windows, already has Vim installed on it, right? Even Mac OS, right? What's even better is, because of that, it means you can use Vim over SSH, right? How many of you use SSH to do your classwork? Yeah, SSH. So I guess, yeah, it's pretty good. Instead of using like Nano. So it's efficient, but don't take my word for it. Let me show you how efficient you can be. If I can get this thing over. Pick up. So we have terminal window here, right? This is not there. Okay, so if you're in first year, you might not have covered linked lists yet. but there's only a few of you, so don't get off put by the code here. We have in this folder, we have a list.h given to us by our professor, and a test list, so there's already some tests written, right? So I can run Vim, can you see that? Is that big enough? Vim list.h, right? So open that up, we've got our prototypes here with some nice comments, right? Let me make this just a little bit smaller, so we can fit just a bit more on the screen. That's not changing the size. Let's change the size. I just want to be able to fit two code things side by side. Okay, let's see. So if we do VS, that gives us a visual split, right? And so what we want to do is we want to edit the same list.h, but we want to make it a C file, right? So let's say we do make the C file, and let's start by grabbing, all the headers, the prototypes, prototypes that are in this .h file. So let me just select them all here and paste them over here, right? And say I don't want the comments in my C file. Sometimes you don't want the comments for the interface in your C file. So all I have to do is, since I've got the semicolon selected, I want to just delete all the lines that don't have semicolons. Easy. Go to the top, maybe I'll add a little comment up the top to say who wrote it, me. And then we got to convert these into functions, right? So that's not too hard. Just one key press, convert them all into functions. We could say, so don't worry too much about what I'm doing. Right now I'm just demonstrating to you the power and efficiency of Vim. Walk you through slowly how we get there. Coming right up. Okay, so from here it's very easy to, we have, say, a linked list interface. Something like, we got to include our item.h, something like this. We've got to, probably a good idea to include like a std.io, std.lib, and what else do we need? We need like a type def, struct, node pointer. Maybe we need a struct node list with maybe an item value, or we could call it data, and say a node pointer next. Right? Easy. And then since we also defined our we typed that to list over here, we need that too. That's okay, we just get a struct and we call it underscore list. And then we just say it has a node pointer to first. Right? Hopefully I'm getting my linked list right. It's been a while. But yeah, after that, it's pretty easy to operate. We can say I want the size of the list. Well, we need a counter, like I. We need like a current, right? Node pointer current is equal to list. And notice here I get like rich completion as well. Like it's all intelligent. So if I type list and I do the arrow thing, okay, it should tell me what's inside it when I do the arrow thing. Okay, so it's not, but normally it would. And it also gives little errors on the side. There's probably an error somewhere, which is why the completion's not working. Something like current is not equal to null. we can just say current is equal to current. There we go, now it shows up. Next. And we could even have something like I++, right? Return I. Easy way to get the size of a linked list. You just run through the linked list and increment a counter. But say we want to refactor that counter. That I is not a very descriptive variable. Easy. We just say, let's call it counter, which is marginally more useful as a name. Yeah. So this is Vim, and then you can very easily just run the make file from here. And if there are any errors, which there are, we can open the errors inside Vim and see what they are. We can even jump to the errors. So if we want to jump, look that thing's screen. There we are. But if we want to jump to that error, we can do that and fix it up and run it again and see that it all works. Yeah. So that's just a quick demonstration. You don't have to understand anything that went on there, just that it's pretty fast to get started with writing that stuff, right? So it's efficient. Oops, we are not on the slides. So it's efficient, but yeah, if Vim has all these advantages, why isn't everybody using it, right? Why would anybody use anything else? Well, it's possible to open any of the newer editors, like Sublime, VS Code, even Gedit, and use it straight away, because it makes sense, right? What you type on the keyboard comes out as text on your screen, right? Perhaps there's a bit more of a learning curve with some of the IDEs. You have to learn where the buttons are and what all the fancy widgets are all over the screen, but more or less easy enough to pick up. With Vim, it requires that you learn how to use it first, and also probably that you configure it a little bit first, because out of the box, it doesn't even have syntax highlighting. Don't worry, we'll get to that today. In return, if you spend the time to learn a little bit of Vim, you can unlock some powerful functionality. So it's an investment. And this actually goes for any text editor, not just Vim. But the more time you invest in learning how to use it, the faster you will be. Basically, it's worth learning the shortcuts. So, sure, Vim is pretty cool, but what is Vim? What makes it so different from the other text editors we've already mentioned? Well, so Vim is a modal editor. And that just means that it has different modes, right? It has a normal mode. In normal mode, every key on your keyboard is a shortcut, right? In insert mode, well, this mode is like your other text editors. When you type keys on the keyboard, the text appears on the screen, like you might expect. And then we have visual mode, which is used for selecting text. Because one of the key things about Vim is that it's fast because you don't need to use the mouse, right? The mouse is kind of slow. Yeah, it's slow. You want to keep your hands on the keyboard pressing the keys. If you pause to lift your hand off the keyboard, bring it over to the mouse, move the mouse cursor, find out where it is using your eyes by looking on the screen, and then moving the mouse cursor towards where the letter that you want to edit or the word that you want to edit. And then it's kind of like a polling operation. You have to check, oh, is my mouse cursor there yet? No, we'll keep moving it. Is my mouse cursor there yet? No, we'll keep moving it, right? And I guess people who play Counter-Strike have gotten really fast at that. But for all the other Mia models out there, we can get faster at coding by using the keyboard. So this normal mode that I mentioned, this one is the one that takes a little time to learn. And that's because you have to memorize the shortcuts that are in normal mode. But it's not too bad. Like I said, it's an investment, and it only takes like 10 or 15 minutes to learn the basics. And so that's what we're going to do now. So if you've got your laptop, get out the terminal and see if you can follow along. I'll go slowly, I promise. So let me clear this screen. All right. So what we want to do is we want to find a folder to write, say, a hello world in. Let me make dir hello. CD hello. Okay, now I'm in the hello folder. So we type vim hello.seek. All right. Anybody had any problems so far? Okay, hopefully everybody's got Vim and it works. So what we have here is some little funny squigglies down the side of the screen, and we have, just a blank screen basically. Or maybe it's got some text saying that it would be nice to donate to kids in Uganda. That message goes away as soon as you press a button or press the key. So what we can do is, first off, let's try quitting Vim, right? Because that's, for some reason, people think that's difficult. When you first launch Vim, you're in normal mode, right? So you're in the mode where every key is a shortcut, right? Down the bottom, there's a little status line. And to get into that status line, we press the double colon key, right? And we'll go down to the bottom. If we want to quit the file, we press Q and enter, and then it quits, right? Not too bad. Did that work for everybody? If it didn't, maybe you had some, if you have some stuff that's unsaved, right? Unsaved, you know, it's got the little plus here. That's okay. If you want to discard the changes and you want to quit without saving, right? Because if you try and quit, it will say, oh, are you sure you want to quit? Because you didn't save. You can discard the changes by putting an exclamation mark, if you want, right? Don't worry, I'll show you how to put text in as well. So, to get into insert mode, the mode where we can type stuff, right? All you have to do is remember that I is the key for insert mode. I for insert. You press I, you'll see that it says insert down the bottom, and you'll be in insert mode. Now, whatever you type will appear on the screen. All right. So we've got a C file here, so we could type #include std.io.h, for example. Right? Now, if you want to get out of insert mode back into normal mode, all you have to do is press escape. The escape key will cause that insert thing down the bottom to disappear, and you'll be back in normal mode, right? So you've got all your keys again. So right now we haven't got any syntax highlighting, I'm guessing, right? So if you want syntax highlighting, all you have to do is do colon and then type syntax on. Like that. And press enter. Then we should get some syntax highlighting. Why haven't syntax highlighting? Oh, yeah. Okay, maybe that's just no highlight.
I think this was already highlighted before.
Yeah. If you do int main, something like this, and be reckless and leave out the arguments, you know, you could printf hello world, return 0 or exit success, whatever you like. Oh, you know what? It's because I misspelled include. Include. Yep, something like this. So again, if you ever find yourself not in insert mode, you can press I to get into insert mode. And if you want to get into normal mode, you just press escape, right? Just do like a little hello world like this. I think for printf, we actually need std.lib as well. So here's something you can do. You press escape, and then you go up to the top using the arrows. I'll show you the copy command, copy and paste, because that's a basic functionality you want in your editor, right? So copy, we can copy a whole line at once using YY. And then all you have to do is press P, and it will paste. P for paste. Y for yank, because back before they used the word copy, yank meant copy, something like that. Did everybody get that? Anybody stuck so far? Cool. All right. So what we want to do is we want to go over to the std.io and we want to change it to std.lib. So what we want to do is move the cursor so it's on S, right? But we're still in normal mode. Or if you're not in normal mode, press escape to go into normal mode. You shouldn't see the insert down the bottom. Then with the cursor on the S, we do CE. Now C stands for change, and E is to the end of the word. Change to the end of the word. CE, we get put into normal mode, ready to write some text, right? And so now we can type std.lib and press escape to go back out. Nice. So I think unless there are any syntax errors, we can save using :W for write. :W. And then we press enter, it should say written. And that little plus sign next to the file name should disappear. All right, so then the next thing is to compile it, right? Now, to compile it, there's a little trick. This is probably not the way you would normally do it, but instead of typing out that GCC will stuff, the quick hack is that you can type :make and then the name of the file without the extension. So we want to make hello, right? And press enter, it will spit out some compile message. It'll actually spit out the actual compile command used. And this one will probably be a bit different from for you. If there's any errors, it will say there's an error. And press enter to continue, so we do that. Now, if we quit Vim with :Q, right? :Q, and we do ls, we can see there's some new files. Because we did it in a hacky way, it compiled it to the binary called a.out, right? So if we run a.out, we'll get hello world. Cool. So it's your first program in Vim. I'll give you a few seconds to catch up. Put up your hand if you're caught up. Cool. A few of you. Where did you guys get stuck? I can help you out. Any questions? Yes?
Can you show us how to copy and paste again?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So I'll go back into Vim, Vim hello.c, or we just go into normal mode first by pressing escape. And so if you want to copy a whole line, you press YY on the line. That will copy it. And then you press P to paste. Nice. All right. Anybody else have another question? Yes?
With the make command,
Yeah.
did that run because you had a make file already? Or
No, I didn't have the make file. It turns out make files have default arguments, and they will default to running the C compiler if you just give the target name.
So Vim comes out of the box that it understands if you say make from a .c file to run GCC.
No, that's actually, all Vim knows is to call the make command. So
Okay.
this is the same as running make hello on the command line. Yeah. Good question. All right. Here's a pro tip. if you're in Vim and you want to get to the command line, right, but you can't be bothered to set your syntax highlighting again or whatever else, you can press Control Z. This works in other programs too, Nano, whatever you want. You press Control Z, and then you can do your GCC, wall, wherever, etc., etc. Once you're done, you're ready to jump back into Vim. You press FG, right, which stands for foreground, background, foreground, and you're back into Vim. Yes.
Can you just repeat that?
Yeah.
How you background?
So background is Control Z. Yeah. That works not just in Vim, any other program. So that's just a cool feature. FG to jump back in where you left off, right? And the only thing is, don't forget that you left Vim running in the background. Cool. So, any more questions? Does everybody get their hello world compiling? Cool. All right. Well, the next step, and this is a fun step, is to learn a little bit more about Vim, because that was just a quick look. Don't worry if you don't remember all the keyboard shortcuts because that we went over just now, because there are quite a few. But let me put this up on the screen. Let's jump over to a web browser and jump into this website, right? vimvalley.com. It's got a quick course in Vim. Only takes like 10-15 minutes to do it's just a trial section. It'll ask you for an email and password. Just put any email in, doesn't matter. And you can jump straight in and try that out. So we'll do that for 15 minutes, and I'll come around and help you out. And if you got any questions, also we have Ben over here. If you already know a little bit of Vim and you want to do some cool Emacs stuff, Ben's going to show you how to do that. Otherwise,
Should I do a quick demo now or after the Vim Valley session?
let's do it after. But if anybody wants to get ahead and jump on with you, then Ben's right there, very friendly.
If anyone feels like they're well sorted with the Vim plugins and use it a bit, or you want to try something else, I can show you another thing. I'll be doing a demo for the class, and I can go into finding detail with you ahead of time.
Yeah, Ben knows some cool tricks about getting Vim to work inside Emacs. Yeah, so vimvalley.com, let's jump into that one. It's pretty good. And then if you finish early, there's also some more resources here, or chat to one of us. Yeah, cool. So 15 minutes. Let's do it.
Very helpful. Oh yeah, that means that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Exactly. So that's all I was saying. So I wanted to write this. So yes.
Okay, how did we go? You go well? Stuck into it? Awesome. Learning those key commands, HJKL. HJKL is like the movement keys of Vim. Awesome stuff. I thought what I might do is I can demonstrate. You're welcome to keep going with that if you want, or you can look up here. I was thinking I might demonstrate how you can do some common operations in Vim that you would expect from your editor. For example, like undo, redo, go over the copy paste again because there's some things there. How to do find and replace and some things like this. So let's have a look. So so it might be worth mentioning that. Hang on, let me just set something up. Okay, so you might have noticed that every time you quit Vim and then you go back in, like the syntax highlighting is gone, and anything that you set is like is gone. It doesn't stay there. You have to like set syntax on again if you want. So like let's go into test. Wait, where was I before? Okay, do a Vim hello.c. Right. You might find that the syntax highlighting is not on. I don't know why the syntax highlighting is on here. But, okay, but for example, we have no file numbers, right? File numbers are pretty useful to have. So we can go set number, and they'll have some file numbers, some file line numbers. Yeah, line numbers. But if we quit Vim, then we go back in, right? Those line numbers are gone, which is terrible. Right?
I tried it on Vim Tutor, but I'm not happy. Is that
what's wrong with it?
it's like saying you can't find the file or something?
Oh.
Sorry, continue.
Okay.
Probably
Not sure about that.
that.
Yep.
Sorry.
So I'll show you how to make sure those settings stay. So you can always have file numbers when you're opening your file, right? So what you want to do is cd into your home directory. So that's the one with the double tilde, right? And then you can Vim, and then the file you want to do is .vimrc, right? .vimrc. And the RC is like, I've forgotten what it stands for, but it's like your config, right? Your configuration file for Vim. Is that big enough on the back end? Make it a little bit bigger. Okay. So we do vim.vimrc on the command line, press enter, right? Now we want to put some commands in here. These commands are the same commands that you would run on the command line. So if we do set, you don't need the colon, that's all. So set number, right? And then we quit out. Sorry, was that too fast? Set number. I have to slow myself down. Yep. And then when you're done, you do write quit. You can combine the saving and quitting into one command. Just do WQ. So colon WQ, it will save and quit. Quit. So then if we go back into our, where we had hello, right? Remember this, you have to change back into that directory. Your .vimrc has to be in the home folder, right? And we do vim hello.c. We've got line numbers. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. We also want syntax highlighting. So if we go back and edit our .vimrc, we go syntax on. Cool. And I'll tell you right now, there's some other commands that will be useful, like set auto indent. That's pretty useful. And then set tab stop is equal to 4 if you use 4 spaces. And you also have to do where I remember it is TS equals 4, STS equals 4, and SW equals 4. Yeah. The STS, I can't remember what it is, but the SW is the shift width. So that's when you're auto indenting things, it will go to use that many spaces. And then another one we can do is, so you may have found that if you're only using I, right, how do I, because if I press I now, right, and I'm inserting before the 4, but I want to put it on the new line, right, so how do I go after the 4? How do I put the cursor after the 4? Well, the answer is, if you're in normal mode, press escape first, and you're on the character, you want to go after the character, instead of inserting before, you just press A for after. And the cursor will go after. And then you can press enter and go to the next line, right? Does that make sense? So I'm on a character, I go I to go before the character, before, and I go A to go after. Go into insert mode after the character. Yeah. Now, this is maybe a lot of key shortcuts at once, so don't worry, I've got a cheat sheet for you. But O opens a new line on the next line. So if I press O now, I'm in the middle of the line here, doesn't matter where you are. If I press O, it'll go straight to the beginning of the next line.
Can't see the...
Oh, I can't see the cursor? Damn. That one there. Sorry, let me do that again. That might have all been very confusing. So, insert before, just before, and then A for after, and then O to go to the next line. Yeah. So, what I'm going to type there is set expand tab. Well, we can do ET for short. What that will do is that we'll use spaces instead of tabs. Expand your tabs out to spaces. You can still use the tab key, but it will save your file with spaces, which can be useful. Yeah, they're the basics. It's, those settings is what you need. And then if I save that and I go into load, and I do see, we have syntax highlighting, we have numbers, we have automatic indentation, so that instead of indenting 8 spaces by default, I think it's often 8 spaces by default, it only indent 4. But here's another thing. Imagine that you're sloppy with your indentation. Sometimes it happens, right? Sometimes you have an extra space in there, who knows, right? Or you have like something that's, it's not indented correctly, right? This thing's all wrong. It's horrible, right? Easy enough. You just go to the line that you want to automatically indent, and you press equals equals, and it will re-indent equals 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 equals. Yeah. If you have any questions, just stop me. I can show you. Yeah. So, how about undo and redo, right? How do we undo things in Vim? Well, we can use the U key to undo, U for undo, right? So we can undo the indentation. And you think maybe the R key is redo, but actually the R key is already used for replace. So it's Control R will redo the changes. Control R. U to undo and Control R to redo. Yeah. That's basically what we've got. And imagine that you've got a really large file, right? Let me find a large file. I wonder if I still got my, try the linked list. Yeah. So I have a file here that has a fair bit of code in it, and I want to find, right? Like in VS Code, I do Control F to find, right? But in Vim, you use the slash to find. So slash, which is that character, like you would use to separate directories, slash character. You press that in normal mode, it will bring you into the command line down the bottom, and then anything you type, it will search. So say I want to search for first, it will search there, and then you press enter, and the cursor will move to the first occurrence, right? Now, if you want to go to the next one, then you have to press N for next. Okay, there's only one first. Let me choose something else, like void, right? So search for void, and when I press N, I go to the next occurrence of that search pattern. Yeah, this one you might have seen in the Vim Valley thing as well. Okay, so anybody got any questions? Any questions? Okay, I'll show you just a couple of other cool things that you can do, and then yeah. So we've got, if we want to run a line, right, and we want to go somewhere in the line without using the mouse. Of course, we can use the mouse if we put set mouse equals A. If we do that, then it allows us to click where we want to go. Which, but the whole point of Vim is not to use the mouse if you can avoid it. It doesn't hurt if you get stuck in a situation you need to use it. But good habits is it also allows you to scroll. Yeah, so that's good. But if you're on a line, say this line, and I want to get somewhere in this line, I want to get the P that's on position, right? I could press the arrow key to get all the way there, right? I could even press the L key, which is from HJKL, which is like the Vim arrows, to go all the way to the P. But this is quite slow, right? This is This is even slower than a mouse using the cursor, right? So what we can do is we can press F-P. F is like find, right? We want to find a character on a line. If we press F-P, we will jump straight to that character. Pretty fast, right? Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's just a taste. There's more, but let's jump back into this and see what else we got. So when you first start using Vim, it's going to be a little bit harder to start with, right? It's going to take a little bit of time to learn all the keyboard shortcuts. Luckily, there's actually a, put this up here. You go to callumhoward.com/vim-cheat. Okay. I know that's small, but it's callumhoward.com, that's my name, /vim-cheat-sheet. It will download this cheat sheet, which I made for all of you. All right, it has a lot of the shortcuts. So if you just print this out, keep it next to you, then if you forget one, you can just find it on this cheat sheet. Or if you're just bored doing maths problems, you can look over and think, oh, what does the X key do? Oh, the X key deletes a character. Yeah. So that's callumhoward.com/vim-cheat sheet. Sorry, it's got the old logo. This is from a couple years ago. Okay. And back to do this. So, all right. So we've tried out Vim, and we've seen that you can go a long way with Vim if you learn the keyboard shortcuts. But then, why not? Well, maybe you want to use VS Code or another IDE instead. That's perfectly fine. You can do that. There are plenty of, VS Code is a very good editor, but you can also be fast in VS Code as well, because for all these editors, any editor you can basically think of, there is a Vim plugin which allows you to use the same movement keys, right? And they're very easy to install. Like, this is just a demonstration. You can open VS Code from inside Vim, and it will open the same file. You just type Vim in the extension search in VS Code, and you'll find the Vim plugin. If you install this, then you can use those keys which you've just been learning inside VS Code. You can also turn it off if you need to go back to normal typing. Same thing even with Visual Studio Visual Studio. If for some reason you're using that, I don't know why you would use that, but it also has VS Vim extension, which is quite easy to find. You just look for it in the extension library, just search for Vim, and you'll find it. And even in Emacs. So I think right now, a cool time for Ben to give a little demo on what you can do with Vim inside Emacs. Emacs is another text editor. I'm sure Ben will take that. So use this? Yeah. So here it is.
I'll also make it else, but if you just stay close.
Yeah.
So Vim's pretty cool, I reckon. How many of you, this is the first time having a go at using Vim? Put your hand up.
keep your hand up if you feel like when you get the hang of it, you're going to be with a really good tool when you get the hang of it. So yeah, most hands are still up, and I saw a few go up, so that's really good. I started off with Vim, and so quite a while ago I was where a lot of you are, and I loved it. It served me really well over the years. But as Callum was saying, there's quite a few environments that you have the Vim key bindings in a more rich or different environment. So there are plugins for Chrome that you can basically use Chrome just using Vim key bindings. The one I'm going to go through with you is a style of Emacs that is built on Vim key bindings, pretty much from the ground up. So if you think of raw Emacs to Linux from scratch, it's pretty useless, but that's the idea, is that it's a rich environment to become something that's very useful. So raw Emacs to Linux from scratch, as is Spacemacs, which is what I'm going to run you through, is to Debian or Ubuntu or Arch. Something that's already configured, for the most part works out of the box, very easy to configure yourself. And so what I'm going to start off with is what you need to do to get started and installed. It's very quick, very simple, I hope, demo gods. Callum doesn't have Spacemacs, he's just got Emacs. So that's the only step that he's done. He's installed Emacs already. So I'm just going to go to Safari. Is it up there? No, it is not. I will Google for Spacemacs. Oh, it even goes to the first one. So install. No, that's not what I want. I want cancel. Apparently, you install it with this git clone. So copy that for it.
My trackpad is pretty dodgy with the tab, so.
Okay, cool. So I've done that. Now I want to. I'll Control Apple V for paste.
Just Apple V.
So git clone into home directory. Yeah, so I'll just rm-rf. We've already talked about this, fine. .emacs. Yep. And that should mean that we can git clone that. So just basically bringing in the config file, config directory that turns plain old Emacs into Spacemacs. It brings in a lot of functionality that makes it feel like Vim, but also brings in a lot of things that make it feel like you're controlling the IDE, the development environment, like it's Vim. So, for example, to find a file, it's just space, F for find, F for file, easy to remember. Most are very much like that. So now we will, how did you open Emacs GUI before? Yep, there we go. So now it's opening up, and we want to go with the Vim style, distribution, recommended Spacemacs, what type of completion, heavy but full featured, we'll go with that. It's what I use. And now it's just automatically installing all the packages and the plugins that Spacemacs assumes you have. This will take a while. First time it's just compiling everything, downloading and compiling. So while that's happening, once that's finished, you're done and you're ready to go. and you only need to do that once. I'll now show you what it looks like when you have it up and running. Okay, so this is a project that I have running at the moment. Now the text is a little bit small, and let's just say I don't know what the command is to increase the text. It's the first time using it. I don't want to Google it. I don't have internet connection or whatever reason, and I just want to make the text bigger. First thing, you just press double space. And for those of you that can see, we've got a command usage history and MX, and our cursor is down the bottom. And I can type in, I want to change the size of text. So increase, no, that's not right. Increase the left margin. Wonder what that is. Oh, well. Text, let's see if text, text scale adjust. I use that. Now, using Control N, I can scroll down. I press Tab, and it's got my documentation. So what we're seeing here is we can intuitively search for commands that we don't already know about very easily. And if we see something, we press Tab and we've got the documentation there already. So text scale adjust, I press plus to make it bigger, minus to make it smaller. It's kind of intuitive, and we'll keep it there. And I press Control G to get out of that. So now that we're a bit large, we can see it. And this part I'm going to show you why I saw that Callum was doing a Vim thing, and I thought, hey, this might be nice. At this point, we're editing text, and it's exactly like Emacs, Vim in pretty much every way. So I want to go back some words. I press B. I want to go back to the ampersand, Shift F, and ampersand, and I'm there. BI, parenthesis. So this is really good, at least I believe so, if you've got the Vim key bindings muscle memory working, and you want to be in a bit more of a development environment that brings everything together. Some ways that it takes advantage of this. So I want to compile it. I don't know the key bindings to compile it. I do, but let's say I don't. I press space. Compile. Oh, there. And the key binding's already there for it, so I'll go out of there, space, CC, to bring up why it didn't work, space C. It didn't work. This is weird. I think it's got to do with, I can see it, we can see it in the, so space, C, and it's blocked off by the projector, so I'll have to scale this down a bit. So we can see down the bottom here, it's got make. I want to change the compile command to this. So all this is doing is going into the directory that I want and running the command that I would from the command line. I run it, and the compiler output we see here. Let's say I want to put in an error, so I change that to, I don't know, I replace 6 with 5. We'll get a syntax error. Space C. Oh, here we go. I've got an error, we'll click and it'll take me there. So it connects quite well with the compiler output, for example. It has a lot of other very useful features that you want to use in your development process. You can very easily get a useful Git interface. You can very easily manage your window splits, things like file explorers in the margins. What I'd like to show before I finish is the way it uses Git. So you want to configure it. Out of the box, it's pretty good, but you want to make a few adjustments here and there. You want what's called the dot file, the configuration file. It's quite ubiquitous with Linux to configure your files. So, what would it be? Well, dot file. Oh, there we go. Find dot file, space, F for file, E, then D. So if you do space F, it'll have all the commands that you want, or that's available after you press F. Well, we want to do something with Emacs stuff. So, E. And down the bottom we see the different ones. We want find dot file. So D, and we're at the dot file. Eventually you get used to this. Space FF, easy. Space FS, space F for file, S for save. You learn these quite quick, but you can very easily pick them up. Here, I've got Git. So you add that line, it'll automatically go to the package repository, download it, compile it, install it, and it'll just work. The key bindings will most likely already be there. We've also got Magic somewhere. I don't know why it's there and not somewhere else, but some reason. Version control, that's right. So there we've got version control and Git, and that allows for Magic and space GS for Magic status. That's down there, we don't want that. I'll delete that window. I want 3 vertical columns. Don't like that. Space W for window, U for undo. I could do space WR for rotate. Yeah, that's a bit better. So it's got a good interface for Git. Now, the reason why I showed this is for editing the text, it's Vim-like. It's got everything that's amazing about Vim. And then for controlling the IDE, saving files, opening files, finding files, splitting windows, to me it's very Vim-like in that the key bindings used are intuitive, mnemonics, kind of like with Vim, W for word, D for delete, E for end of word. So yeah, that's how I describe it. It's kind of like everything you like about Vim, what makes Vim powerful, not just for text editing, but also for IDE control. Cool. I think I've used enough of that time.
Yeah, I think we're about wrapping up. But today we've seen 2 different things. We've seen the Vim, we've seen Emacs, and we've seen some fancy setups. But don't get overwhelmed, right? It doesn't take long before, like I was saying, it takes about a month, and then you're at the same speed of other text editors, maybe a bit more. Then after a year, you're 3 times faster, right? And after a few years, who knows, right?
And I used Vim for about a year or so before I moved over to Emacs. So in that time, using Vim made going into Emacs easy peasy.
Great. So thank you so much for coming along. And if you ever want to talk about Vim, or if you ever have any questions, I'm happy to help you with even the most basic things and walk you through. Just look me up on Facebook, Callum Howard, or my website also has my email, callumhoward.com. Thank you so much for coming along.
Also, if Callum's busy or you can't get in touch with Callum for whatever reason, like, come speak to me. I'm not really as good with the finer details of Vim with Callum, but most of the basic ones I'll be fine. So, yeah, and also
I'll also just mention that Vim's cheat sheet will be posted on Facebook. The link. A feedback form is also in person. I really appreciate if you fill it out, and feel free to take it through. Yeah.